So our last two sections, everything we've done has been all multiplication. Okay? Today we're going to look at division. This is going to be kind of the main idea we use today. If you've got the same thing in the top and the bottom of a fraction, it cancels out. Okay? So this part, just watch me do this part.
Yeah.
Okay. Look how I rewrote 12. Okay? I wrote 12 as 3 times 4. I wrote 15 as 3 times 5. What number was in both the top and bottom here? 3. If there's a 3 in the top and the 3 in bottom, they cancel out. All I'm left with is the 4 over 5. Okay? Normally with numbers, we kind of do that in our head, so you might not even need to think that through. But with letters, okay, it works the same way. If you add x to the 5th, that's x times x 5 times. X squared, so I should say x cubed. That's x times x 3 times. How many x's do the top and bottom both have in common? I crossed them out. 3. The top has 5, the bottom has 3. They both have 3. They both have at least 3. So we canceled 3 from the top, 3 from the bottom. And that's all you're left with. 2 x's in the top. Okay. Any question on that idea? Okay. Besides doing it that way, anybody see what you could do with a 5 and a 3 to get 2? Yeah, minus them. Okay? So that's going to be our pattern for today. We've added exponents. We've multiplied exponents. Now we're going to be subtracting exponents. Okay? So without writing it out the long way, what do you think that's going to be? Y to the 5th divided by y cubed. Yeah, it's going to be y to the 2nd.
So we're just subtracting them instead of adding them?
We're just subtracting them. It's not hard, but it's one more thing you have to remember. When do you add? When do you subtract? When do you multiply?
When do you know when to do that?
Well, adding is what we did on Monday.
Yeah.
Okay, this is adding. Multiply two things with the same base. When you multiply exponents, that's when you have something like this. That's a power to a power.
Okay.
Okay, that's when you multiply. Subtracting is when you divide. Okay?
But obviously, it'll have the division power on it. You'll know that what it is.
Okay, now this one's a little different. Okay, last one had the bigger exponent in the top, smaller exponent in the bottom. Okay, watch what happens here. I'm going to write it out the long way so you can see it. X cubed is x times x 3 times. What does x to the 7th mean?
X times x times x times x.
Yeah, 7 times, right? How many x's do the top and the bottom both have in common? 3. So we can cross 3 out from the top, 3 out from the bottom. What's left in the top?
-4.
Well, we crossed everything out, right? So when we cross everything out, there's nothing left. What we put? Put a 1. Okay, 1 basically is holding the place. We have nothing there. We've got to put a 1. What's left in the bottom?
4.
How many x's?
4.
So x to the 4th. Okay? Look at what happened. Bigger number was in the bottom. You still do 7 minus 3. Okay, we're going to write this down. You still do 7 minus 3 and get 4. Because the bigger number was in the bottom, the 4 goes in the bottom.
You guys, in a second, we're gonna give you the rule that how it works.
Okay, what do you think is going to happen here? Can't say there's a bigger exponent in the top or the bottom. Yeah, what happens when you divide two things that are the same? Like 3 divided by 3 or 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Anytime you divide two things that are the same, you get 1. Okay. So those are the 3 cases you can have. Same exponents, bigger one in the bottom, bigger one in the top. Okay. Yes.
Again, guys, just like we've done all week, Mr. Hager's going to give you like the kind of the rule, and then we're gonna look at it.
All right. So this is what you want to write down on your.
Yeah. So on your sheet, you already have to divide 2 expressions. You're just writing what's underlined, just like we've done the last 2 days. So you're writing with the same base. subtract your exponents, larger minus smaller, and put your answer in the part of the fraction that had the larger exponent. Everything that's underlined is what you're writing. Because you already have on your sheet to divide two expressions. So you're just writing what's underlined.
Okay, so now on that sheet, you guys got all three rules that you need for the week.
Yep.
When you add the exponents, when you multiply the exponents, when you subtract the exponents. Okay, so like the homework Mr. Roy gave you last night, we're going to start out with some of the easy ones, okay, that he went over right away, real simple. Then we're going to get into the ones that have multiple steps.
Yeah, well, you might have to do like power to a power first, set it up, then you might have to subtract your exponents.
So today will be a good review of all the rules you've learned all week.
Yep.
Does everybody have this? Good.
You guys remember, don't get overwhelmed by this, because remember, tomorrow's a review day. Nothing new tomorrow. Nothing new at all tomorrow. Tomorrow is all review.
As long as we get through today.
I'll go through that. So guys, this one's on your note sheet. That's example 1A in that box on your note sheet.
All right, so first thing we want to do is look at it. Okay, recognize we're dividing. What are we going to do with these exponents when we divide? Dividing two things with the same base, take your exponents and subtract. Okay? Ryan, what do you get when you do 8 minus 5? 3. So now the answer is either going to be x to the third or 1 over x to the third. Where is it going to go, in the top or in the bottom? Top. Okay, look at where your bigger exponent was. It was in the top. So your final answer should be in the top. Okay? You might be saying, well, wait a minute, Mr. Hager, you didn't write a fraction here. Well, if you want to think of it as a fraction, there's nothing left in the bottom.
Like we said all year, anything over 1 is whatever's on the top. If it was 2 over 1, it's 2. If it was 5 over 1, it's 5. Right?
Thank you.
Do you guys have any questions on that? Okay. Bigger exponent in the top, answer is in the top. If the bigger exponent was in the bottom, this would have been flipped.
What if it was the same exponents?
We're gonna do one that's the same right now. Okay, so this time your two exponents are 9 and 9. If you want to think of it this way, it's division. You still subtract them. What do you get when you do 9 minus 9? 0. If you raise anything to the 0 power, what do you always get?
You just get y? Or is it
No, you get a number.
0?
1.
1.
Okay, make sure you know that. Anything to the 0 power, doesn't matter what it is, okay, is 1.
So whenever we see like the same exponents, it's automatically 1.
Yep, anytime you see the same exponents, cancels out and become 1s. There's two ways to think about it. You're dividing two things that are the same, so they cancel out, or the way I just showed you right here.
We might get into that next week. Anything to the 0 power is 1.
Joe, I think it's easy to remember the first way I said.
Yeah.
When you divide two things that are the same, just write 1.
What if one doesn't have an exponent?
Like if you just had this over this.
Yeah.
Well, there's still an exponent there, but what is it when it's not written? 1. So this would be y to the, what would this be?
Y to the 8.
This would be y to the 8th. So if you don't see an exponent, put in a 1.
Like Mr. Hager showed you guys in the last one, it was x to the third over 1. Anything over 1 is itself. All right? It'll just be y to the 8th.
Right, so Joe, why don't you tell me, what's the exponent in the top here?
1.
1. Now, when we write our final answer, where is it going to go? Top or bottom? How do you know it's in the bottom? Yeah, the bigger exponent is in the bottom. So put the letter in the bottom, because that's where the bigger exponent was. What's going to be my exponent? 4. Subtract your exponents, larger minus smaller. This time the answer goes in the bottom. What goes in the top? Because you've got to put something there. 1. Okay, that's it. Okay, any question on that one? All right, so those are the easy ones. One rule, that's all you had to do. Okay, 1 over z to the 4th. All right, let's try a couple more. Anyone think you can tell me the answer, Marcus?
8 to the 5th.
8 to the 5th. Should it be in the top or the bottom?
No, top.
Top, right? Bigger numbers in the top. So it's just 8 to the 5th.
Now guys, this one you're actually gonna write the problem. You have example 1E written on there. You think you just don't have the problem. So this one you're actually writing the problem in.
Okay, this one you guys should almost have memorized.
On your
Let me see one.
example sheet.
What's
On your example sheet.
this when you do minus?
Yep, dividing two things that are the same. What do you get?
0, you get 1. C to 0 power, and then you get 1.
When you divide two things that are the same, you don't get a letter anymore. Letter's gone. You just get a 1.
Yeah, it's the same thing on the top and the bottom, it's 1. Every time, it's 1.
Okay, if that confuses you, think of like when you divide two numbers that are the same, like 2 divided by 2, or 5 divided by 5. Divide two things that are the same, you get 1. Okay?
Same thing for this one, guys. You have a spot on there on your example sheet that says example 1F. You're just gonna write it in.
Okay, when I write my answer, what's going to be my base? X. What's going to be my exponent? 5. Where should it go? Should x to the 5th go in the top or the bottom? Bottom. Why? The bigger number was in the bottom. So what goes in the top? 1.
X always goes on the bottom.
If the bigger number was in the
That's what
bottom.
the bigger exponent is.
So if the bigger numbers on
So if you have this,
Also, if the bigger number on top, put it on top.
the bigger number's on the top, you put it in the top. So what would this one be?
X over 5 over X.
Okay, not 5 over x.
X is the higher.
X to the 5th. That's it.
That's just a practice one. He's just showing me something different.
Questions on the difference? Okay. Okay, when you have more than one letter, okay, you want to make sure when you're dividing, you line everything up in columns. Okay, just like
Remember
this.
this, guys. We're just showing you this. This thing, and some of you guys might not have to do this. All right. So this all we're doing is listening right now.
Okay, so when you're going to divide them, we're going to break this down into 3 problems. We have our constants, okay, we have our numbers. Then we've got a problem with the x's. Okay, pretend everything else isn't there. We're just going to deal with the x's in this column. Then we're going to do the y's. We're going to do each part separate. Okay, so this is like 3 of the problems we just did. Okay, so what exponent would be here? Even though it's not written. 1. So we'd have to simplify that, and we got to simplify the numbers. Okay, that's the easy part. Okay, let's you know what? Let's do this one.
Now, guys, again, this watch mistake is just showing you this right now. Okay, nothing, not to worry on your sheet.
What can you divide 6 by and 3 by? They're both divisible by what?
1.
Yeah, everything's divisible by 1, but 3. Okay, if you divide this by 3, what do you get?
2.
Just reducing your fraction. Divide that by 3. 1. Okay. All right. X to the 4th divided by x. What's my base going to be? X. What's my exponent going to be?
3.
3. Where does it go? Top or bottom?
Top.
X cubed top. Okay. Y. What's my base going to be here?
Y.
Y. What's my exponent? 5. Top or bottom? Top. That's it. That's the answer. Okay. If all you have is a 1 in the bottom, we don't even need to write it. 2x cubed y to the 5th. Everything ended up in the top. Just the way this one worked out. Okay, we're going to practice more of those. That's what we just did.
All right, so guys, like we did earlier, right? When we were doing we were going over the homework, we did the warm up, right? And you had the constants, right? You had the rest of the regular numbers, right? Take care of those first. See, that's what it's saying here. Bigger number only, the constant. Simplify. All right. Make sure you know that. Make sure you know what number goes to this. Make sure you know that number goes into both. So see, there's like in this case, all Mr. Hager did was he knows that he divided this by 3. He divided that by 3. That gave him the 2 on the top and the 1 on the bottom. He's just simplifying it. All he did that for that first step was just dealt with the big numbers, the constants. That's all he was doing.
How did you get 2 from the top?
Because he simplified it by 3. He divided the top by 3. He divided the bottom by 3. Huh? This here? That was already there. Yeah, that was already x to the 4th. That was already y to the 8th. Then he added a 1 to the bottom, and then y to the 3rd was already there.
How do you get 5 at the end?
8, because again, remember when we were multiplying exponents, right? Same base, we keep the base, and we added the exponents. Now we're dividing. Same base, keep the base, subtract the exponents. Go see this? See how the bases are the same? This is a y, this is a y. I'm going to keep that y, and I'm going to put that y with what's left wherever the bigger one was to start, Joe. So there's y to the 8th.
Yeah.
Keep the y. 8 minus 3 is 5. Put it where the bigger one was. All right. So, and guys, we're still on the example sheet. We got a little ways to go before we get back to your note sheet. All right. We got a few more that we can get through. All right. So, like I said, what I do is, guys, so I know. I put my equal sign, and then I draw my fraction bar, just to set myself up. All right, so I know, so I can start putting stuff and plugging stuff in where it should go. All right, so my constants, right? On the top, Sam Mans, what's my constant on the top? Negative 15, good. On the bottom, my constant is what, Marcus? 5. If I know I can reduce that. I know I can reduce those two numbers. All right, Marcus, I know you know. Hold on. All right, Shazi, what would that reduce to? Don't worry about the variables and the exponents right now. Just worry about the constants, the whole numbers. What would they reduce to? Todd is going to be careful. You're close. Negative 3, right? Negative 3. And on the bottom, Shazi, is going to be what? About 5. What did you divide by to make that negative 3? What did you reduce by? What did you use? You used 5. What did you divide that by to make it negative 3? Divide by 5, right? I'm going to divide this by 5. And if I divide the top by 5, Brian, I got to make sure I divide the bottom by 5 too. So on the bottom, what's my number going to be? What's my constant going to be? 1. Good. So those have been the 15, the 5, they've been taken care of. Next, I'm looking at, if I'm going in alphabetical order, next is going to be in this problem, it happens to be A. All right? So Matt, where's my A going to go? Top or bottom? Top. Top's just going to be A, and what's the variable, what's the exponent that's going to be with it? 1, right? I'm just going to leave it as A, because it means the same thing. I had a 2 here, I had nothing down here, but I know I can put a 1. The bigger exponent in the original was on the top. That's where I put my A. 2 minus 1, 1. Or I don't have to put anything. So my A's are done. Ben, what about my B's? Where's my, before you even try to do the subtraction stuff, where's my B gonna go? Top or bottom? Bottom, right? Good.
What's with the B8 and B3s?
What do you mean?
That's
We've had the same one.
B3, B8. No, it's reversed. The B3's on top and the B8's on the bottom.
Yeah, it'll be that way. It'll be different. It'll be different. It's not, the bigger number's always going to be on the top every time. It's going to change. All right?
Coincidence, we have the same.
Yeah. All right? And then you're going to get one on the bottom, Ben? 5, B5. Because what were your two exponents? For the B's, 8 and 3. All right? So B to the 5th. All right? So, good.
That's it. That's it.
Does everybody, there's nothing else that we can do here. Different bases. A, B. Can't do anything with those. -3, 1. Can't do anything with those. That is your final answer. You have simplified. That's your final answer. All right? Next. Guys, it's almost 2:15, so I just want to remind you guys that, yes, like in past classes, this is when we kind of start getting into like the danger zone. All right? Next. Draw my fraction bar. Now this one's tougher, right? Because the constants are a little bit bigger. All right? Isaiah?
Why are we having the test on Friday like we usually do?
We are having a test on Friday.
Yeah, Thursday's review.
No, tomorrow's going to be overview. All right, so in this one, Sam S. What are my two constants? -13 and 26, right? What can I use to reduce those? Anybody know what number goes into both? Kind of a big number. Good, Spencer, right? I'm going to divide both by 13. Divide this by 13, divide this by 13. Spencer, on the top, just for my constants, what am I left with? -13 divided by 13. -1, right? -1. On the bottom, 26 divided by 13. Anybody know? 2. Good, Shelby. I got 2 on the bottom. Excellent. Gone, gone. Don't have to worry about them anymore. Justin, my X's. Where's X going to go? Top or bottom? Top. And what exponent is going to be with that X?
12.
Careful not adding. Do the opposite.
4.
Good. Subtraction. Remember, when you're dividing exponents, you're really subtracting them. All right? Nice job. Gone. Because Justin said the 8 was the bigger exponent. What's left. That's where it goes. This, gone. All right? Come down to my Y's. Chelsea, where's Y going to go? Top or bottom? Bottom. And variable? 4. Right? Perfect. Because there's a 1 here. 5 was bigger. It was on the bottom. 5 minus 1, 4. That's why I say figure out where you want to put the variable first. That way you don't make a mistake. You say, yep, Y is there. Let's do your easy subtraction. Put the number with it. Let me put the exponent with it. Perfect. Done. All right? This one, guys, I'll give you like 30 seconds. You're going to need to write, it says 2C on your sheet. You're just going to need to write the example. All right, so for 2C, right, let's deal with what do the constants reduce to? Anybody tell me? Eli.
6 and 1.
6 over 1. 6 over 1. We reduce by -6. We reduce by -6. Excuse me, my bad. We reduce by -3. Oops, sorry, put that down. -3, and we divided by -3. Right, that's what we reduce by. Understand, because think about it. There's 2 negatives here, and it's a division problem. So it needs to become a positive. It needs to become a positive. All right? So that's done. That's done. Matt, what you get. What you get for x, and where'd you put it?
I put it on top.
And
This is the first part.
just x, right? X to the first power. I had a 2 here, I had an imaginary 1 there. X on top, that's what the bigger exponent was. 2 minus 1, 1, or not to write anything. X is done. Travis, y. Where'd you put it? What'd you get for an exponent?
I put it underneath the x,
On the bottom, okay. And
y to the third power.
y to the third. Right? Because we had y to the first, y to the fourth. Like Travis said, this is where the bigger exponent is. Put the y there, then do your subtraction. There is nothing else that I can do. Right? There's nothing else I can do there. All right, Mr. Hager?
We'll finish up with, we have 3 problems left. I think you guys have 4 on your reference sheet. We're going to skip one. We're going to try 3A.
Yeah, guys, we're not quite. We got a little ways to go until we get to that example. It's going to go on your note sheet, but again, it's going to be up there on the smart board to let you know.
Was it 3B, Mr. Roy?
I think it's 4A.
3B, we're going to skip. This is going to be the
We're gonna
last
skip, which is fine because you've never written on your thing anyways. You've never written on your notes.
All right. Who can tell me, looking at 18 and 27, what are both of those divisible by? The biggest number you can think of.
3.
They are divisible by 3.
9.
9. Okay. What's, Isaiah, what's 18 divided by 9? 2. Spencer, what's 27 divided by 9? 3. Okay. Numbers are done. Okay. X's. I don't know if we've had this happen recently. X cubed, x cubed. What do you get when you divide them?
You get 1.
We just get a 1. So are there going to be any x's left at all in this problem? No. X's are gone. Okay. Same thing in the top, same thing in the bottom. Gone. We don't even have them in the final answer. Okay, go to the y's. Justin, where's my bigger exponent for the y's? Top. So y is going to go in the top. Then, what power is going to go on the y? 2. 4 minus 2? 2. Okay, last letter. Top or bottom?
For last letter would be Z.
Z.
It's on the bottom.
Bottom. What power?
That's the fourth.
Z to the 4th. 5 minus 1 gives you 4. Okay?
He said because that's the biggest number.
So this one's important because you recognize you had x's to start. Okay, they all canceled out.
Reduce a fraction.
We didn't have them in the final answer.
And if not, just leave it as those numbers.
Okay, any questions on 3A?
Yeah, guys, Ryan was just asking, Mr. Roy, how did he get that 9 there? How did he do it? I said, well, think of it as, like I said, I know it's hard to think of it that way, but think of it as, I know it's hard with all this other stuff there, but think of it as 18 over 27. What can I reduce that by? Like we said up here, we're going to divide by both. 9 is the biggest number that goes into both. So we're going to reduce it by 9. Now, what do you guys think? We might get to that, but if not, I just want to do it now. What if we got something like, what if it was 17 on the top and 27 on the bottom? Is there a number that goes into either of those? No, just leave it as 17 over 27. If nothing goes into it evenly, or we can't reduce it, just leave it as it is. Leave it as that. Leave it as those 2 numbers, and just worry about your exponents, your variables.
All right, so 3B, just cross that up. We're not going to do 3B.
It's not on the fourth.
3B, we're not doing.
Okay, so we're going to go to the last two questions. Okay, these are the questions where you're going to have to use the properties you learned yesterday and Monday.
Oh my God.
Okay, so when you have a problem like this, first thing you always want to do is the property we learned yesterday. Deal with this 2 first. Okay, you can't divide anything here yet. Why? These parentheses are protecting everything that's inside them. Okay, you can't divide until you get rid of the parentheses that are
Yes, guys,
protecting
this
them.
one's going on your, right, like it says on the board, this is going on your note sheet. On the sheet you guys wrote the example on at the beginning and the notes on, it's going to go on there. That way you can use it as reference on the test.
I already put something over there.
Right in there somewhere, okay?
Okay, so for now, you can't do anything with the bottom. So just copy it over. Nothing's going to change with the bottom yet. Okay. But the top we can do something with. What do we do with this 2? We did this yesterday, Matt? Yeah, we're going to raise
Power to a power.
power to a power.
Power to the people.
Okay. So the first one's going to be 3 to the second power. 9. Okay.
Remember, like we said we were going over in the warm-up, right, guys? If it's a number to a power, you have to simplify that. You can't leave it as 3 to the second or -4 to the third. You need to make it just a number.
Okay, who can tell me my next one? X to the 5th, but I have to square that. X to the 10th. Okay, remember, this is where you multiply your exponents. How about my y's?
Y to the second.
Y to the second. Okay, that's the first step. Questions on that step?
Oh, wait, I didn't multiply by.
Okay, now you can do your division. Okay, these parentheses are gone. They're not protecting what's in the top anymore. Now they can be divided by what's in the bottom. What is the fraction 9/6? Okay, think of it the way Mr. Roy did. What does that reduce to? 3 over what?
2.
3 halves, right?
Yep.
Both divisible, top and bottom, shall be said by 3. Okay, x's. Where are my x's going to go? Top or bottom? Top. What power? 6. Okay, good. Where are my y's going to go? Bottom. What power?
1.
3 minus 2?
Y.
1. So I don't even need to write the 1. Okay, so even though it uses a rule we did yesterday, as long as you remember it, not that hard. Okay, last problem.
Which is for B.
Yep, put this on your example sheet. Okay, can I divide right away?
No.
No, why not?
Parentheses.
These
And
parentheses.
the extra. Yeah, sorry.
So what might be a good thing to just copy down because it's not going to change yet?
The ball.
The bottom. Okay, it might change eventually, but it's not going to change in the first step. Okay, Brian, can you tell me what do I have to do with this 3? Yeah, we're going to raise power to a power, right? Okay, so the first one is going to be 5 to the 3rd power. It's 5 times 5 times 5.
125.
125. Okay, next one. X squared cubed. How much is that?
This is 6.
X to the 6th. Okay, next one. Y first to the cube. Y to the 3rd. Okay, X's and Y's aren't going to be too bad to deal with, but 125 and 15, kind of a big number.
So guys, with this one, you had, like Mr. Hager just did. All right, you had to do the 3, and then with the 5, right? So 5, it was 5 to the 3rd power. So we didn't give you that number right away. You had to get that number by doing 5 times 5 times 5. So now you're at the point where Mr. Hager's showing you. Now you can reduce. So there might be a situation where you have to do some kind of like a number to a power, and then simplify the numbers. All right, or reduce them.
Okay, if you've got 2 numbers that end in 5, what are you guaranteed they're divisible by? 5. Okay, so I'm just going to use my calculator and do that out. 125 divided by 5. 25. How about the bottom? Can someone tell me 15 divided by 5?
It's
3. Okay, so we get 25 in the top, 3 in the bottom. Can 25 and 3 be reduced anymore? Nope. Okay, X's. They're going to go on top or bottom? Top. X to the what power? Okay, Y's. Top or bottom?
just Y.
What power?
Just 1. It's the first.
Just to the first.
So just
Could you put the 1 here? Would that be wrong?
no.
No?
Still won't be wrong. Still be right.
You could put the 1, but you don't have to. Okay. Any question on 4B? No? All right, so kind of a quick summary of what we did. Okay? When you write your final answer, okay, I want you to look at the last one we just did. There should be no parentheses in it. Okay? Look at the final answers. Every problem we've done today, no parentheses in the final answer. Okay? Second thing, each letter should only appear one time. Okay? When you start the problem, you might see X's and Y's in multiple spots. In your final answer, how many times do you see X? Just once. How many times do you see the letter Y? Just once. Okay? When you're done, X's and Y's should not be in multiple spots. 25 over 3, your numerical numbers, shouldn't be able to be reduced anymore. If you write this as a final answer on a test, something's wrong. Okay? There's a common factor. 6 and 4 can both be divided by 2. This should be the final answer. Okay? So look for those things. No parentheses. Each letter appears once. No common factors, like 2. Okay? Any question on that? All right.
Guys, I got a couple that I want you to practice on your own before you get the homework.
Yeah, so Mr. Roy's going to...
That way, if you have questions before you do the homework, you'll know.
Okay, so you guys are going to have something to practice, but your homework tonight's going to be a worksheet on 6-3.